Saludos cazalogros, bienvenidos al tercer vídeo de la guía completa de Sherlock Holmes capítulo 1. Continuamos donde lo dejamos aquí cuando entregamos la misión maestro del disfraz. Vamos a continuar con la misión principal del juego hasta que nos interrumpa alguna secundaria y la haremos de nuevo. Todo para que sea más fácil de seguir la guía de un juego tan extenso, ¿no? Recordáis, teníamos que entrar en los archivos de la policía. Estos archivos funcionan como otros juegos de Sherlock Holmes o Sinking City de los mismos de Frogwares, ¿vale? Ok, para continuar aquí, después de tener la historia de Bogle activada a la izquierda, tenéis que activar crímenes violentos, sujetos, víctimas y en distritos Grand Sarai. Le dais a buscar y os dará este pedazo de papel con el que podemos continuar.
John, I just recalled that we were living here on Cordona in a manor. And there was a policeman.
Really? What else do you remember? What happened to our mother?
The memory was vague, a mere flash. I have to find our house.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Pues ya sabéis, hay que ir a la mansión de Sherlock.
I'm done with the archives for now. Can I help you with anything else?
As a matter of fact, you can. The thing is, our chief inspector has vanished, as if we weren't undermanned enough as it is.
Wait, what do you mean, vanished?
Gone missing on a case. Shady business, but that's besides the point. See that board? Pending cases are posted there for any available officers to investigate. I would take them myself, except that I've been told to work the reception desk, like some clerk. Yes, we're that short-handed.
I understand your predicament, but what does any of it have to do with me? I may be available, but I'm certainly not an officer.
Oh, don't worry about it. Consider yourself a temporary one-man independent police force. That's a bit of a mouthful. There's just one small, minor basic formality. You'll need to complete our physical training course. Easy.
Well, I'm not one to balk at a spot of exercise. What must I do?
That's the spirit. Sergeant Ermy will show you the ropes. Follow me.
Como veis, habrá que hacer aquí un pequeño entrenamiento antes de poder continuar, así que lo hacemos.
So, you're a
We've got the whole
newcomer.
island to investigate. It's all up to you.
Ok, pues el tutorial lo he omitido del vídeo, ¿vale? Es muy fácil de seguir, simplemente lo acabáis. Y ahora sí, por fin podemos salir e ir a la mansión Stonewood.
Hey, Sherry. There's post here. And it seems as if the letter was delivered recently.
After reading that, I am even less eager to return home than before. Let's investigate our manor.
That's the Mycroft I know. Predictable.
There she is. Our old manor. It's smaller than I remember.
You were a couple of feet shorter back then, Sherry. Or maybe it's bigger on the inside.
Ok, una vez lleguemos a la mansión, lo primero que vamos a hacer es dirigirnos a la izquierda, a esta especie de construcción que tenemos aquí. Y vamos a inspeccionar este maniquí.
Hey,
Primero,
that's
la
Wooden
cabeza.
Joe. He was always the best at playing criminals.
También tiene unas esposas.
I did not expect these to still be here. It was enjoyable to practice using real handcuffs to make an arrest.
La espada.
An irreplaceable tool for catching a thief.
Y el saco este de piedras.
And this must be the reason our suspect was apprehended. Wood and glass, oh, very precious.
Ok, ahora lo que vais a hacer es abrir el cuaderno y poneros recuerdo fragmentado. Y con esto vamos a empezar. Nos vamos a dirigir a la entrada de la mansión.
Look at the ash all over the door. I don't recall hearing of a fire.
We don't have to stay here. You can afford another night or two at the hotel.
It's stuck.
Oh well, let's just head back. They probably haven't even stripped our room yet.
Come on. Must be locked.
Move aside. Let me have a go. Seems fine to me, Sherry. This barrier, perhaps it's mental, not physical.
Or perhaps the rest of us are simply constrained by reality, John. I wonder if there's a key secreted somewhere in the garden.
Try to recall that memory about the policeman, Sherry. Concentrate.
Ok, ahora sí, vamos de nuevo al diario y vamos a poner esta, recordando mi pasado. Y ahora lo que tenemos que hacer es ir mirando estas bolitas con el modo concentración.
The policeman brought us both home, John. That's why he was here.
I'm pretty sure he brought something else with him too. Do you remember what it was? I bet it was our reward.
No, we were not so lucky. It was a set of lockpicks that we had used to sneak into someone's house. That's why we were arrested.
Did someone come out to investigate all the commotion?
It was Mycroft. He smoothed things over and convinced the policeman not to press charges. The officer left and never returned. But we had to endure a serious talking to from my brother. Mycroft wasn't happy about the fact that we were arrested. It felt like he lectured us for hours.
Did we give him something afterwards, Sherry?
Oh, yes. Yes, now I remember. It was a letter. That's why we snuck into the house. Mycroft asked us to. He wasn't angry we stole, but that we got caught.
Oh, that's right. It must have been only a couple of months after we moved to Cordona. Ugh, the good old days. Whoa.
How very odd. It appears that memory stood between me and the manor. It's as if my mind palace had seeped into the real world. This deserves further investigation. Perhaps there's more to discover inside.
As long as there is a comfortable place to put my feet up, I'll be happy. Maybe a chaise longue.
Aha! In we go.
Ok, una vez entremos tenemos que interactuar con todos los objetos que podamos. Así que le dais a LB para que se os marque.
Home sweet home, Sherry. And I was wondering why it's so empty in here.
There may be a small chance that some of our property could be found among local traders' wares. It is worth a look, wouldn't you say? One of the first things I saw when entering this house as a child. It's like déjà vu. Mycroft's umbrella, the only outgoing thing in his wardrobe. Hey, this is the luggage we brought from London, isn't it?
Another memory incoming, Sherry.
Strange, I struggle to recall anything about the day we moved in. The only detail I'm sure of is that it was raining early that morning.
Ok, como habéis visto, se nos ha puesto este recuerdo, llegada a Cordona, y es lo que teníamos que hacer al interactuar con los objetos. Y ahora lo que tenéis que hacer es ir mirando los circulitos.
Our mother brought a slew of belongings with her. She refused to leave a single thing in London. Mycroft had to spend the whole day dealing with it. There was always a hat on our stand, but I'm sure it did not belong to Mycroft. This trip was a challenge for our mother. I tried to help her.
Do you feel it? Is it the air shimmering, or is it my imagination?
Y ahora lo que tenemos que hacer es ordenar los recuerdos, ¿vale? Aquí vais a poner a este hombre cogiendo el sombrero. Aquí vais a poner a Mycroft señalando. Y aquí vais a poner al niño ayudando. ¿Vale? Con esto validáis.
Your neighbors will be told that Mrs. Holmes is suffering from tuberculosis. It is common to move closer to the sea in such cases.
Thank you, Dr. Richter. No, Sherlock, step away from her. Upstairs, go to your room.
Lean on me, Mother. Take your time.
Actually, I never heard her coughing. I remember now.
Oh, I feel dizzy. It's stuffy in here, isn't it?
John, are you all right?
I'll be okay in a minute. How about we find our room in the meantime?
Al haber hecho el recuerdo, se nos habrá desbloqueado nuestra habitación. Y al entrar debería darnos un logro.
Look at this. It's like traveling 10 years into the past with a single step. Oddly satisfying.
Aquí sentíos libres de interactuar con todos los objetos que veis, pero lo importante es ir a este escritorio y mirar este libro.
So many pleasant evenings were spent here with the Encyclopedia Americana.
Este libro también.
The only fiction book on my table. I can still hear my mother reading it to me.
Y este es periódico 2 veces.
Interesting. What's that over there? This doorknob has a cross-shaped end. Too intricate to be merely a handle.
You know what? That definitely looks like a key. Let's poke around and see if we can find any secrets.
Ese pomo nos va a servir para abrir este armario. Pero antes hay que ir al cuaderno y seleccionar esta pista. Una vez la seleccionemos, veréis que os sale aquí esta burbujita en modo conversación, en modo concentración, perdón. Ya podéis activarlo.
Perfect match.
Y tendremos 2 pistas importantes aquí. La pipa
Still has a faint odor of tobacco, one of the few things on this island that smell like home.
Y este diario.
My small archive of crime clippings. Maybe I should pick up this habit again. Made of cherry wood. Father's favourite.
I knew you'd find it in no time.
Podéis interactuar con varias cosas, ya os lo dije antes. Entre ellas, este globo.
Oh, it reminds me of our neighbour. He had the same balloon in his yard, only bigger. Do you remember?
Yes. We visited him several times while living here.
Y con este cofre de aquí también nos va a dar cositas para el cuaderno.
An artifact from Palau carved out of bone and claimed to be 300 years old. My mother proved it was a fake. My very favourite plaything. It was the perfect pirate. Cannot believe all my toys are still here.
Hey, they were not just yours, they were half mine too.
Ok, gracias a haber interactuado con esto, habremos desbloqueado varias cositas. Os vuelvo a repetir que soy libre de interactuar con las demás cosas del cuarto para saber un poco más de la historia. Ok, así que, gracias a lo del globo, en el Palacio de la Mente podemos marcar vecino y amigo con informes desaparecidos. Y eso nos va a llevar al cuaderno a esta pista. La marcáis y con esto vamos a salir
That does sound vaguely familiar. Wasn't his name
al exterior y encontrar
Theodore Gilden,
al
perhaps?
vecino.
It's the perfect time to investigate.
El vecino se encuentra a salir de la mansión de todo el terreno. Y a la derecha deberíais ver un globo flotando bastante grande. Allí está, ¿lo veis? Allí es donde tenemos que dirigirnos. Pues no se puede entrar por la puerta principal, así que vamos a ir por aquí.
That wretch Goliath would murder us all. Mark my words.
Y aquí ya nos ha dado la misión secundaria que tenemos que hacer, que bueno, que vamos a hacer en este vídeo, ¿ok? Una jaula de oro. Bien, y este caso secundario nos va a dar 2 logros perdibles, ¿vale? Lo primero que vamos a hacer es investigar esta puerta.
As if they were struck by a battering ram.
Entramos y aquí a la derecha podemos investigar este destrozo de aquí.
Destruction and trampled ground.
Continuamos. Y aquí a la izquierda vamos a ver a este pobre hombre que podemos investigar.
Oof, the contortionist you were not. A belt from a dressing gown, curious. A kneecap reduced to splinters. Disjointed vertebrae. Difficult to say if it was a way to start or finish him off. A missing pinky, middle-aged. It's none other than Theodore Gilden.
Oh boy, Sherlock. Another death means another question.
And we shall answer the question. It's far too interesting to give it up to the police.
Vale, y ahora lo que tenéis que hacer es mirar por aquí.
A strong pull broke this leash. A pool of blood and saliva, possibly as a result of impact.
Poke the elephant with this? Really? People are hopeless. Sherlock, take a picture of the footprint. It's valuable evidence.
Ok, nos han dicho que hagamos una foto. Aquí tenéis el tutorial, pero yo os lo digo. Con LT sacáis la cámara y cuando veis que se ponga blanco,
This photograph can help us find the old
le dais
article about
con
the
RT.
elephants. The front page was fascinating. It was hard to believe as a child.
True. We may need it in our investigation.
En esta zona podemos conseguir más pistas. Venís por aquí. Interactuáis con esto.
Fresh signs of impact. A rough landing led to an altercation with this shed. A coal gas tank. Enough to pump up an airship. A sailor's knife, useful for cutting wet and thick ropes. It's seen a lot of use. The blade is worn from grinding.
Ok, una vez hemos encontrado todas estas pistas, vamos a activar el objetivo en el cuaderno. Despliegue de caos. Y ahora podemos interactuar con la burbuja que veis allí para rehacer el recuerdo. Vamos a hacer de la última, es decir, desde aquí vais a poner esto. El hombre ahí como saliendo hacia, volando, ¿no? Aquí. Un hombre aplastado. Y aquí está el elefante agarrando al hombre. Validamos.
In a fit of rage, the elephant broke the chain and threw its victim on the ground with a fierce power. Escaping the scene, it pulled the body with it, but dropped it at the gate. At least some of this was witnessed by a third party who was hurled against the shed. The elephant can't have gone too far. I can still track it.
Well, suppose you find it. Then what? Push it all the way back to the manor?
Vale, y ahora lo que tenéis que hacer es poner sospechoso animal como pista principal. Y ahora vamos a ir al inicio de esta misión, a la puerta rota, para hablar con toda la gente que hay ahí.
What is it?
Can I ask you a question?
That's a question I can answer.
Como veis, tenemos que cruzar el puente bridge. El puente bridge es este. Greek bridge, perdón. Puente bridge, me cago en la leche. El puente Greek. Tenemos que cruzarlo hacia el norte para continuar con la búsqueda del elefante. Así que nos dirigimos hacia allá. Una vez crucemos el puente veréis un carro aquí destrozado. Usáis la concentración.
The elephant barged into this cart of olive oil.
What if we're lucky and he slipped and fell somewhere along the way?
Como veis ha pisado aceite de oliva y eso nos va a dejar un rastro que estáis viendo ya aquí. Vamos a seguirlo.
Okay, hear me out. If an elephant falls in the forest and there's no one around to...
John, no.
Oh, you're such a killjoy.
Como veis, aquí se pierde la pista ya que el elefante se metió en el agua. Pero no pasa nada, aquí tenemos algo.
Strange. It was hung with care. The game has escaped us, for now. We'll find a solution to the elephant problem later.
Ahora lo que tenemos que hacer es volver a la mansión, ya que tenemos las llaves, ¿ok?
You. Who are you?
My name is Sherlock Holmes. Theodore Gilden was...
Did you kill him? Did you kill the elephant?
It's not in the yard anymore. It escaped into the forest.
You can't let it go. What if it returns?
I highly doubt that, Miss...
Imogen Gilden. Please, I beg of you, find that dreadful beast that killed my father.
I suppose we do need to learn what happened. Can you tell me what happened? From the very start.
I was here, so I didn't see how it began. My father visits the enclosure every morning to wake up Goliath. Today, I heard the elephant scream. I've never heard such a horrifying sound. My heart stopped. I knew something was wrong. I looked through my window and saw how it lifted my father up by his neck. I rushed downstairs. I saw it dragging my father as if he were a doll. I threw stones at it. It dropped my father's body and charged outside, screaming. Its roar was almost human. I was frightened, so I ran inside and hid here.
That is a terrifying experience, Miss Gilden. I'm sorry you had to go through it.
Thank you. Goliath must be caught, Mr. Holmes.
Well, thank you for the information, Miss Gilden. I did have some questions for your father. Perhaps you might help me with them?
I wasn't privy to much of my father's life. and it's very hard to think of anything at all with Goliath still loose. Please, Mr. Holmes.
Very well. Do you mind if I ask you more questions if I find anything that might help?
Anything to catch that monster. I'm afraid I can't add anything useful.
Had Goliath been aggressive before?
It's dangerous, but it was never aggressive near my father. My father would do anything for Goliath. All the elephant had to do was clap its ears.
You envied him, the elephant, I mean?
Our house is called the House of Ivory. I've heard some people refer to me as the Ivory Girl, and my room stinks of the animal, as if it's me who lives in a pen and not Goliath. It's not envy, Mr. Holmes. It's just incredibly difficult to live like this.
Did you observe anyone else in the yard? Any of your servants, perhaps?
Servants? Do you imagine that we would have any with Goliath? No one wishes to work in this house, even for double pay. I didn't see anyone else. Only my father and that diabolical beast.
Miss Gilden, I was on this island 10 years ago, and your father knew my mother. I believe I even had the opportunity to ride that balloon outside, but I do not recall seeing you.
I lived at my late mother's in Sheffield at the time. I'm in no spirit to reminisce right now. The elephant is out there.
You've never heard the name Violet Holmes before? Perhaps your father...
Please, Mr. Holmes. With that beast roaming free, I can't think of anything.
Very well.
Ok, después de este diálogo, aquí tenemos varias pistas y además el inicio de un logro perdible. El logro perdible es conseguir 3 libros repartidos durante todo este capítulo, durante toda esta misión secundaria. El primero de ellos está aquí.
False idols? Oh, sounds utterly dreary. She packed as much as she could carry. The same dull poses on all romantic photographs. So idyllic. Enjoy your happily ever after before it stales.
Hey, Sherry, we need to talk. You found false idols. We need to find the remaining 2.
What does bazooka even mean? Would this paper be good for anything but blowing one's nose on?
They're not rubbish, Sherry. There's something more. I'm serious.
Very well. I doubt it'll be worth it, but I will find them for you, John.
You'll thank me later. They're some of the most imaginative books I've ever read.
Como veis, John
Speaking
mismo
aloud helps me
os ha
too.
dicho que hay que buscar 2 libros más. Cuando consigamos los 3 nos dará un logro, como digo, perdible.
The nicest spot in the room. Mr. Gilden spent hours of his life right here.
Staring at an elephant's backside. What a wonderful life.
A relatively functional choice to replace the finger. Oh, the pungent stench of an animal.
Did Theodore seek some pink elephants with this?
I think Miss Gilden has barely matured. I think they were closer than you and me, John.
I'm hurt.
A catchy title. What's so special about this place? Another elephant? A partnership annulled with a single stroke of a pen. I should take a photograph of the plans. I don't want to carry them around.
Como veis, aquí es importante que interactuéis con las pistas y además toméis la foto, ¿vale? Para conseguir la pista necesaria para continuar con el caso. Vamos a seguir buscando pistas.
His second child? An apparent son and heir, I'd say. Mother. It's nice to see her young and smiling. From before Mycroft was born, our family loves to prod at the past.
Holmes's desire to rake
Quite
up
the
the
spectrum,
past is hereditary.
from the history of the Roman Empire to conspiracy theories of the French Revolution.
Ok, una vez hemos conseguido todas estas pistas, vamos a volver a hablar con la niña y presentarle todas las que nos deje. Pues ya tenemos las pistas clave. Hemos desbloqueado un par de zonas. Esta de aquí, el club de vela. Así que con esa localización descubierta os vais a dirigir al club de vela, pero no exactamente al club, sino un poco más abajo. Vais a ver aquí como una especie de astillero, vamos a llamarlo así. Lo que tenéis que hacer es en el cuaderno poneros la imagen de Imogen, o Imogen, no sé cómo se pronunciará este nombre tan raro. Nos vamos a dirigir a alguien para preguntar sobre él.
Can I ask you a question?
That's a question I can answer.
Esto nos va a desbloquear este taller. Entramos. Si no hacéis lo de la foto no vais a poder entrar aquí, ¿vale? Vamos a investigar este bote con vela que vais a ver al final a la izquierda.
The Champion's Whirlpool. Pool's bread and butter.
Habiendo investigado esto, vamos a la sala de almacenamiento. Y vamos a ver, aquí ahí está el segundo libro. De hecho, si no me equivoco estaba por aquí. Ahí está. Este es el segundo libro que tenéis que coger de 3 para el logro.
Sales of Hatred. I suppose there is something for everyone, including champions.
Who knew archaeology could be so exciting?
Exciting is certainly a word.
Habiendo cogido el libro, continuamos. Hay que interactuar con esto.
A foghorn to navigate and warn others at sea.
It should have a warning to cover your ears.
Salimos de aquí. Nos dirigimos a la izquierda y hay que entrar en esta habitación, que nos la vamos a encontrar cerrada. Nos acercamos a la ventana e interactuamos con esto.
Bloodied bandages. Has someone been hurt?
Where would a champion hide a key?
Y ahora nos hemos desbloqueado esto, el taller del club de vela. Nos la marcamos y vamos a ir a interactuar con este tablao.
I hope Paul is more skilled at yachting than he is at hiding keys.
Ya tenemos la llave de la sala esta. Aquí tenemos unas cuantas pistas.
Old betting slips. Paul always bets on Whirlpool. One victory after another. To earn big, you have to spend big. Mr. Gilden wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty.
De hecho, que hay otra, perdón. Esta de aquí.
Additional earnings to sweeten the victory. An interesting place for a message to a champion.
En esta estantería hay más pistas, así que seguimos investigando.
An expensive set of tools for woodwork. An amateur wouldn't know how to use these. A box full of darts. Each has a needle and can be loaded with drugs. Shipbuilding, shipwright's tricks, sail weaving.
Con todo esto investigado, volvemos al cuaderno y vamos a marcar nota sospechosa. Vamos a volver a la sala de almacén, al almacén, que estaba a la derecha.
Undeniably psychotropes. Not for toothache, I think. Undeniably psychotropes. Not for toothache, I think. A typical tea tin. I wonder what he has for biscuits.
Una vez salgamos de aquí, nos encontraremos con Paul Perks.
Oi! Hands off my possessions before you lose your fingers. Are you illiterate? The rules are written everywhere.
Ah, Mr. Perks, the cabin boy himself.
Champion, you mean? I was right. You are illiterate. I think a couple of shiners might teach you. One last chance. Who are you?
Da igual el diálogo, como siempre en este juego. De momento, da igual todos los diálogos.
I'm Sherlock Holmes, a friend of our mutual acquaintance, Miss Imogen.
Look, you artichoke. Imogen has no friends. Except for me.
If you must try to insult people, it's better to know the meanings of the words that you're using.
You fancy you could teach a sailor to swear? Go ahead. Show me how inventive you are.
Stand still for a moment.
Vamos a observarlo y a sacar su perfil. La opción correcta es regatista profesional.
I'm impressed by how well a woman can handle a yacht and endure so many hardships on the open sea. The revelation of your nature could well humiliate so many rich men here, not to mention how you have broken the rules. But I understand. You've done this to forge a real career in the sport. But tell me something. Has no one asked you why you don't grow a beard?
Shh! Have you been following me? You better not be wanting to end my career, because I swear you'll regret it if I get outed.
Damn you, Paul. I'm sick of... Who's this peacock? Does he know who I am?
I definitely know who you are not. You're not a dictionary reader, at least. I wanted to see how you... pals interact with each other in your natural habitat. But I'm afraid I have to interfere.
Ok, este combate podéis hacerlo como queráis. Yo Voy a omitirlo para que la guía sea más
And
fácil.
there's no reward for risking our lives.
Paul's explanation will suffice.
Si ustedes decidís hacerlo, podéis matarlo o podéis arrestarlos. Da igual, no influye nada en la historia, ¿ok? Una vez acabéis con el combate, de la forma que elijáis, volvemos a la oficina con Paul.
Your fellow mariners have a strange way of showing hospitality.
They were not my friends.
Are you sure? I would rather risk my neck for someone who's at least honest and thankful.
Perhaps then don't enter someone's life and be so judgmental, pretending you're better than they are.
Then give me your perspective and allow me to see through your eyes. I tried to tell you before, but your partners interrupted. Have you heard the news? Theodore Gilden is dead. Do you have anything to say?
Well, what a shock. To me, he was an angry old ogre. Good riddance. Was it Goliath that killed him? Did it crush him? Break his bones? Come on, tell me. I want all the details.
You have an unusual way of showing grief. Imogen wouldn't appreciate that. But yes, the animal could have been involved.
It's poetic in a way, isn't it? It takes a beast to kill a monster. I wish I could have been that elephant.
What were you doing this morning, Miss Perks?
Don't call me that. I'm a champion. I was sailing.
The other club members told me that you missed the race this morning. Do champions not need to practice?
Ugh, you've talked with them already. No, I wasn't racing. I visited the doctor after that attack on me. And then I had to honor the deal with the bandits you just took care of.
You're asking for trouble with this smuggling business. You'd better leave it before they smuggle you out in a barrel.
Don't patronize me. I've only ever had trouble with law-abiding citizens like Gilden and you. Never bandits. So ask me anything you want, and then get out of my sight.
Vale, vamos a proporcionar pistas hasta que acabemos con la conversación, ¿vale?
I'm clueless. I'm clueless.
You smuggle illicit psychotropes on your yacht. Not a
It was
delivery.
frightening.
Ok, una vez terminéis de presentarles todas las pistas posibles, volveremos a hablar con la chica. Así que dirigíos de nuevo a la mansión. El motivo de esta nueva visita es presentar nuevas pistas a la hija. Así que hablad con ella y presentad todas las que podáis.
It's chilling to think the monster is free.
Ok, una vez que habéis presentado todas las pistas posibles, vamos al cuaderno y vamos a marcar, a ver si lo encuentro, planos de construcción de los baños de marfil. Con esto marcado tenemos que dirigirnos al ayuntamiento para encontrar información sobre esto. Ok, pues aquí estamos en el ayuntamiento, ¿vale? Hemos venido desde aquí hasta aquí. Y dentro, como digo,
Concentrate, Sherry.
tendremos que... Aquí nos han dado un caso nuevo, pero lo vamos a ignorar, ¿vale? Vamos a entrar en el ayuntamiento.
Are you lost, sir?
Not at all. I'm right where I need to be. I'm Sherlock Holmes, by the way.
Ursula Oney, the chief archivist. How can I help you exactly?
I need to take a look at the history of Cordona and its islanders to retrieve some, hopefully, useful information.
Your brother Mycroft told me that you were direct, and now that we've met, I can see that is true.
Someone in our family has to balance the evasive nature of my brother. Well, may I use the city archives?
You may, of course, but in return, perhaps dinner?
That's a high price to pay for looking at your archives.
I was teasing you. Pay no attention to me.
El archivo está entrando a la derecha. Y como hicimos en la comisaría de policía, habrá que poner ciertas cosas para que aparezca una nueva pista. Así que vais a poner sujetos, negocios, registro, documentos legales y distritos Ciudad Vieja. Buscamos y aquí tenemos ya la pista que necesitábamos.
With your love for archives, you would have made the perfect bureaucrat.
Así que vamos a activar esto, registro de la compañía de GUÍA. Después del archivo tenéis que dirigiros a esta localización en la Ciudad Vieja. Así que habréis viajado caminando desde aquí hasta aquí. Lo que tenemos que hacer es mirar esta conversación entre los trabajadores. Veréis que os saldrá
From day to night, I don't stand.
las que tenéis que elegir. Vamos a ver si nos salen. Ya sabéis que esto son aleatorios. Cicatriz en el cuello, mercado de la Old City y pro británico. Con esto podemos continuar con la historia. Así que con eso vamos a activar el cuaderno entrada a la excavación y nos vamos a dirigir a esta localización, mercado de la Old City. Así que vais a tener que viajar todo esto. Antes de dirigiros al mercado, aseguraos de comprar ropa de trabajador. Tenéis una tienda de ropa justo al lado de donde hemos cotilleado esa conversación, ¿vale?
Don't pass by. Welcome. Well, let's pick something that suits you.
Comprad este mismo, el mandil de proletario. Con eso comprado ya sí nos vamos a dirigir al mercado antiguo. Ok, con la ropa equipada y ya en el mercado nos vamos a dirigir a hablar con un hombre que hay justo en medio. Este de aquí.
Sir, kind sir, might I steal your attention?
I am not buying.
Ah, that is the thing. You won't waste a single mangir. I am a digger, you see, and I have heard of a dig site so deep it clogs your ears. I want to be there.
Why are you telling me this?
I have heard of a man recruiting for such a dig. A man with a scar, such as the one that you're hiding. And your boots are dirty with the deep clay I am so familiar with. Oh, I hope it wasn't too rude of me to point that out.
You have a good eye. And you just want to dig? Dig deep and that's it? What's the catch? Are you in desperate need of money?
Oh, there is no catch, sir. I won't even ask for advance pay. Just give me a shovel and I'll dig a hole like you've never seen.
Huh. Is that so? Well, I have to ask you an important question first. Would you be fine working for Brits?
Tenéis que decirle en absoluto, ¿de acuerdo? Aquí sí es importante elegir la opción correcta.
I am all for them.
Well, you say that, but can you prove it?
Y ahora le decimos que vamos a cantar el himno.
I'll sing you a very special song. God save our gracious queen.
Cut it! Or people here will make you their queen.
I can also speak in limericks.
Please don't. You might be a little bit weak in the head, but a natural-born digger with a keen eye is what we need. Take this permission slip and go to this address. The guard will let you in and check with the professor once you're there.
Ok, con esto hay que volver a aquí, donde encontramos a los trabajadores hablando.
Stop loitering. Newcomer, talk to the professor first. He's the old fellow with the glasses and the plans.
Lo que tenéis que hacer al llegar aquí es hablar
Where's the
con el
fire in your
profesor.
eyes? Where's the smile? I am sick and tired of seeing apathy among the new workers.
Sir, believe me, I do have the spark. I want to start work straight away. It's as important to me as it is to you.
Ah, that's the spirit. I'm on the verge of a great discovery.
Lo primero que tenéis que decirle es: estoy listo para trabajar. A partir de ahí podéis decir lo que queráis.
I am ready to work.
Splendid. Do you know what I am working on?
The ivory baths. Everyone is looking forward to the grand opening.
Who told you this nonsense? Why would you contaminate history with this base desire for leisure? We are looking for Vitus Lemonius's tomb. This is our goal, to find the artifacts of the early Roman Empire. Let's continue. I am Professor Swift. We have 3 rules here. Don't touch anything, always return the tools, and don't distract me unless you find something.
Sounds simple enough. Are you the only one in charge here, Mr. Swift?
Yes, I am the only one, and no one else. You hear anything other than that, it's a lie. People of your kind can have difficulty understanding who's in charge. Take a minute, memorize my face, and then get to work.
Oh, I will definitely take a closer look to memorize my superior.
Ok, vamos a hacer el retrato. Y la opción correcta es busca conocimientos.
I wish I could be as passionate about something as you are, Mr. Swift. You value knowledge and dedication over everything else.
It's a long road, young man. A sharp eye and attention to detail are the only stepping stones along this path. You have to sacrifice everything you love for the larger prize.
Exactly. So much in life is superficial. I wish more people would understand.
I never heard a truer word, lad. Folk will ignore what truly matters in life, and for what? Convenience.
Bold words indeed. I doubt that many scientists would be willing to support their bragging with fieldwork.
The academic world is full of restrictions. Our honorable professors are too afraid to dirty their hands. God forbid if they have a stain on their shirt. You can follow in my footsteps. You can start learning by returning to work. Show me what you can find.
Ok, una vez acabe la conversación, vamos a coger unas pistas justo aquí.
This reminds me of my father's room. A plan for this whole operation. This might prove useful. I'll note it down.
Aquí tenemos más pistas.
Straw dolls. Eerie, but effective for a scene recreation.
Oh, I want one of these. Or 2.
Oilcloth. Won't fade and waterproof. Enough here to make tent sails and more.
Y con esto podemos seguir bajando. Y vamos a recoger el último libro para el logro perdible que comentamos. Está por estas tiendas.
Sharpest pickaxe. A guilty pleasure of the real archaeologist. Missing your Laura, Mr. Swift?
Hey, a word about the trilogy.
Right then, you literary expert, what was so important about these books? Or did you simply need some kindling?
It's inspirational. I have a plan. Are you listening?
I wish I wasn't, but I am.
So, we catch a monkey, a langur, for example, then we extract some blood from it.
What? Why?
It will make us forever young, Sherry. Page 127, the second book.
Oh, I am so done with this.
No, wait. Then how about we make a wax statue?
I've stopped listening, John.
Ahí está el logro. Recuerdo que era un logro perdible. Así que vamos a continuar con la historia.
Somehow the text remains legible. Let's see if I remember my Latin. A sickle for harvesting. The ancient Romans honored the seasons. A goddess? A mother? Someone's wife? There were 4 statues here originally.
I wonder what the 3 other statues look like.
Swift lost his temper when he learned what happened to the statue.
Como veis, aquí tenemos otra sección de cotilleo, ¿vale? Vamos a ver si lo sacamos a la primera, si no ya sabéis que podéis alejaros y volver a intentarlo. Esta no es. Esta sí. Esta también. Esas 4, ok.
I see now. Mr. Swift didn't realize the significance of the statues.
Y ahora volvemos a donde estaban las estatuas. Veis ya ahí la burbuja formándose. Tenéis que poner justo el que está detrás, mirando hacia la derecha, ¿ok? Como estáis viendo. Este mirando hacia acá, como está. Esta, la mujer con las hiedras, no sé, las plantas estas. Y el del escudo mirando hacia atrás. Ahí está. ¿Veis? Dejadlo tal que así.
It seems everything's in place. Now, let's see what this has to tell us.
Y ahora lo que tenéis que hacer es dirigiros aquí.
Here is your discovery, Mr. Swift. Hey, look at this.
What have you found? Don't let anyone touch anything there. Eureka! I found you, my friend.
Y con esto podemos volver a donde estaba el profesor para investigar su mesa, ya que ahora estará ahí en la excavación, ocupada.
A box of darts, handy against rodents of all kinds.
Después de interactuar con las 3 pistas, Arthur nos va a pillar y aquí tendremos que hablar con él, enseñarle todas las pistas posibles.
Trying to take over my research, are you? I come here to pick up my diary and I find you snooping around. Explain yourself.
Mr. Swift, if that were true, I would have been on my way to the newspaper. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I didn't have a chance to introduce myself properly.
Outrageous! You deceived me, sir. What is the reason for your being here? Who sent you, Mr. Holmes?
Theodore Gilden's premature death brought me here.
Theodore is dead? How can that be possible?
I'm thinking of all the possibilities, and I'm not crossing out anyone who might have been involved. Even his elephant. The land you're excavating belongs to Mr. Gilden, does it not?
Did I hear an accusation? I have nothing to hide. You can ask me whatever nonsense you've prepared as a token of my diminishing respect towards you.
Very well, Mr. Swift. I appreciate your cooperation. Were you at the site this morning?
Affirmative. This project is taking a lot of my time, as you see. I spend more time underground than on the surface.
When did you learn about Theodore's death?
Just now. You just told me.
And you aren't surprised, shocked? I won't tell anyone if you shed a tear or two. Weren't you partners, after all?
We were. And it is a real shame. But I've seen too many deaths in my life, Mr. Holmes, for the news to truly shake me.
When was the last time you saw Mr. Gilden?
A couple of days ago. We discussed the site. I believe in the tomb and its secrets. Theodore's patience was stretched, however. He was already inventing new projects. It wasn't a long conversation. I suppose that his daughter will inherit everything now, along with all of the eccentricities and problems.
And not forgetting Goliath.
Eccentricities and problems, Mr. Holmes. One of many. Will you allow me to return to my research, or are you insisting on remaining an obstacle?
Oh, I haven't even started yet.
Ok, aquí lo que tenéis que hacer es proporcionar las pistas hasta que acabe todos los diálogos.
You have a weakness for nostalgia.
Humankind, nothing less and nothing more.
Ok, una vez hemos hablado, le hemos enseñado todas las pistas a Arthur, podemos ir al cuaderno, al Palacio de la Mente, Jaula de Oro, y podemos combinar todas las pistas. En concreto, si ponéis era temporada de celo, con todo el mundo culpa a Goliath, nos dará esta misión que es la importante, ¿vale? Seguid poniendo pistas, ya sabéis que no importa equivocaros. Ok, cuando pongáis todas las pistas os quedará algo tal que así, y aquí podéis elegir cualquier opción. De momento da igual, ¿vale? Dejadlo como queráis. Una vez hecho esto, vamos al cuaderno y le vamos a dar al vial de perfume. Vais a darle análisis químico y como en otro capítulo anterior, lo vamos a hacer automático. Es decir, le dais a LS para omitir y nos dará éxito. Ahora vamos a elegir la pista cazando a Goliath. Pero antes de irnos, vamos a ir aquí.
This fabric will work.
Y vais a coger un trozo de tela. Ahora tenemos que viajar aquí, ¿vale? Para coger otro objeto. En concreto, lo que tenéis que hacer es volver al taller y coger uno de los objetos con los que interactuamos la última vez que estuvimos aquí. Este.
It might fool an elephant.
Mrs. Nini seemed to know her sewing inside out. I bet she missed us.
I hope Miss Nini won't misunderstand me.
Después de recoger ese aparato, tenemos que volver a donde estuvimos en la misión del vídeo anterior. Es decir, hemos viajado desde aquí hasta aquí, al lado de la comisaría, ¿vale? Que decir que uséis los viajes rápidos siempre que podáis para ahorrar tiempo. Hablaremos con la señora Nini.
Good day, madam. I've come to you with a special requirement. The tailors on the street can't help me, I'm afraid. Could you make a doll for me?
Oh, Senor Holmes. You taught the police how to do their job, and they found the thief. Of course I will help you. But what sort of doll? A child's doll, such as my great niece might play with?
A little larger than your typical doll.
Signore, I don't understand. Boy, girl, animal, and what color?
Animal, a passionate, perhaps amorous animal.
Ah, Signore, you talk in riddles. I am an old lady who's seen it all. Tell me what you need.
I need a life-size elephant.
I think Mrs. Nini outdid herself with this one. Is that a tail?
That's a trunk, John, but I must agree with you that it's her masterpiece.
Well, let's not waste any time.
Ok, con el elefante de mentira habremos viajado de aquí de nuevo a la mansión, ¿vale? Vamos a dirigirnos a las botellas del fondo.
The game is on.
So, what's the plan? I hope it all doesn't go horribly wrong.
We know that the elephant is seeking a female. We can arrange that. A doll with the appropriate scent might do miracles.
So you're a marriage broker? Well, I suppose that makes me a groomsman. Oh, she is a bit breezy, I must say.
Well, Goliath is eager for a single female elephant in his area. It should be just enough for his taste. You'll need to trust me.
Are we ready? I can't stand the tension.
We're ready. Let's call the elephant.
Aquí da igual la que toquéis, ¿vale? Probad todas.
How could anyone resist? I knew a lady once who said just that. Too bad I'm not an elephant. Take your time, Sherry. That deserves a slap. And then a kiss.
And here's our lovesick friend.
What is the meaning of this? Why are you bringing it here? I won't allow you to leave it.
I assure you that it is only a temporary measure. It won't be long until the elephant is gone, I promise you.
Ok, teniendo aquí a Goliath, vamos a interactuar con él.
It injured itself while running through the forest. Peaceful and compliant, almost a gentleman. The left tusk is larger and more worn. You're a left-tusked elephant. There's something in the needle. A feathered fletching. This might be promising.
Abrimos el cuaderno y vamos a ver el dardo. Le dais al dardo, análisis químico, y como antes, yo la voy a saltar, ustedes podéis intentar hacerlo. Y con todo esto ya podemos concluir el caso. Ojo, porque hay un logro perdible por salvar a Goliath, así que elegid eso. Vale, con el cuadro así ya podréis elegir, ¿vale? Ejecutar o salvar. Yo voy a elegir salvar, ustedes deberíais elegir salvar para conseguir ese logro perdible, ¿vale? Y con esto vamos a volver a hablar con la niña, así que subamos. No sé si podremos entrar por aquí. Sí.
You were right about Goliath. Everyone confirmed your opinion. They all agree that the beast is vicious. The animal wielded 2 tons of rage, and Mr. Gilden regrettably didn't stand a chance. The mating season only served to amplify its temper.
Oh, spare me. That's a little too much detail, thank you. What is the point of this conclusion? How do you plan to use your findings?
Miss Gilden, I know how much you dislike the elephant.
Rather more than dislike. I wish I could have done more to that wretch than just speak of it.
But it's innocent. Goliath did not intend to kill your father. It was provoked, scared, and in mating season. Your father took Goliath's normal state for granted, and in doing so made a mistake that caused the elephant to be aggressive.
Stop it! I already know the answer. I don't need your moral perspective on this situation. I don't know why you wasted your time. I actually did more than you.
Which involved what, Miss Gilden?
A man with a big wallet made an offer to take the elephant away. I accepted it. I was so naive, thinking that it was me who was so helpless. But you are useless too.
I am glad that the elephant is no longer of your concern, but I need to make sure.
I don't care, and I don't want to listen.
Ahí tenéis el logro.
Thought you wouldn't turn up.
Why is that? Well, I suppose it's the English way to leave without saying goodbye, but I never planned to abandon you.
Because you brought the filthy beast here. Because you did nothing to ensure its proper punishment. I had to do everything, not you.
I was piecing together your father's murder.
There was nothing to piece together. I told you, it was Goliath. I never asked you to talk with anyone. I asked you to find the stupid animal.
Even if my efforts are invisible, that does not mean that I did nothing.
I don't have the strength to argue. These are my father's belongings. They're about your mother. Take them all and leave me be.
I won't waste your time any longer, Miss Gilden. Thank you for your help.
Con estas dos pistas podemos volver al caso principal y al final
My mother always wore this around her neck until one day it disappeared. I was wondering where it went. She said it was a birthday present from a good friend. I just had another glimpse of a memory, John. It's fuzzy, but I'm sure it happens somewhere in the manor.
Finally moving forward. Shall we go?
Y con esto vamos a dejar este tercer vídeo de Sherlock Holmes capítulo 1, habiendo resuelto este caso secundario llamado Jaula de Oro. Seguiremos en los siguientes, como siempre, hasta conseguir los 1000 Gs. Así que nos vemos, chicos y chicas, gracias por haber estado ahí, hasta la próxima.